To manage the staff positions report for ODE, you will begin at the main menu. If you have the privilege assigned to you for that purpose, click on the Manage Staff button, which will bring up your staff information. Select a staff member, and then click the tab that says Staff Position. You will see if there are any records created for staff position for this particular user, a portal that lists all of the staff position records for this person. If that record has a checkbox beside it, it means you have set the record to be exported or included in the staff position report. To edit the record, click on the record title itself, the information that you have submitted or prepared for submission will appear here. A new feature is that the business rules from ODE for all of these fields appear in a pop-up that is accessed by the title. So for instance here, if I click on Assignment Institution ID, I will see the basic business rules for this field. Particularly pay attention to whether or not entry is required. And there are additional alert flags for required fields that appear next to that field value and are based upon what assignment code you have selected for this particular individual. Once all this data is completed, you're satisfied that the information is accurate, you can click this checkbox right here, and you'll notice when this box is clicked, it appears or disappears here. That's the basic information for setting up a staff position record to be submitted to ODE. If you click on someone and it turns out they don't have a staff position record, you can't select a record, you need to create one. This is the new feature that you see here, which is you can either select to create a new record or you can duplicate an existing one. I'll explain that later. To click here, we'll select a new record, and it will be marked as a new record, and you click here to begin filling in the information. It's important that you change the position code from an N to something that's appropriate in order to have the record be acceptable at ODE. A second feature here is there are situations where someone serves in two position roles, and you must now submit two position code records. In order to do that, the most efficient way, select the record that you have already completed. Notice this one is for a 0.5 position, and click this button that says Duplicate the position record. If you create too many records, you can delete one simply by clicking on the trash can. Once you have a new record or a duplicate record, click on that record, and you will see that everything in this record is the same for this individual except the position code. So if this person is now serving also as a teacher, you would change the position code to teaching and then adjust all of the figures down here accordingly. Again, pay attention to the business rules regarding all of these fields. Let's address submitting the staff position report to the Oregon Department of Education. It's a good idea to print the staff position report, which is a validation report that you can review of all the records that you have marked for upload. You do that by clicking the button down in the school-wide report bar that says Staff Position Report. You'll note the staff position report is divided, or subtotaled as it were, by the various staff position headers. In this report, you will notice that we have 2 records that are listed as new records. This would imply that you intended to submit this record, but you haven't filled out any information and you haven't yet changed the staff position from the new record mark to an appropriate submission. You can also review on here the position code that was selected for this particular record, the assigned institution ID, the current FTE that you have posted. All the information is in there that are the high points for the submission report. As with other reports, after you preview it on screen, you will be given an option to either print it, save it as a PDF, or cancel this function. Before submitting, another thing to talk about here for just a moment is the fact that you need to verify that you have updated and or assigned a USID, or a unique staff identifier. The USID is like the SSID of adults, and you can manage the USID information in here for your staff by clicking on this tab right here that says USID, and you can see all the information you currently have in there. The important point is you need to submit this to ODE in the USID report before you submit the staff position report. Much like student records, if you put up an ADM report and claim a student that you haven't refreshed the SSID ownership on, it'll be rejected. And that is the same with the staff position report. So be sure you've understood and completed the USID updates. And when you've completed that, then it's as simple as preparing the files to export to ODE. And you can do that by clicking the Export Staff Position file and following the usual steps. Save this first as an Excel workbook. Select a known place to save it on your hard drive. Name it. Click the Save button. This is a place where you can review the information that's going to be exported. If you change any of these, you may create an error when you upload the file. These have been preset to be in the proper column order to submit to ODE. Click the Export button. And the window will close. And that's it.